Ms. Diva, for sponsoring us. I'm Joel Berg, Executive Director of the New York City Coalition Against Hunger. That's JOELBERG. This is the last of our 5 events in a 5-borough tour of soup kitchens and food pantries in New York City. Over the last 2 days, we're releasing the results of our survey. And all politics is local. I don't have to tell this crowd that, and all hunger is local. So we make a point of going to every borough to show that this is a citywide problem. We were in Staten Island yesterday, a place that there's the stereotype is rock-ribbed, middle class, and there's a serious growing problem there. You know, we've known for a few years that hunger in New York City has been an ever-growing river, overflowing the banks. But now, with the economic downturn, hunger is truly a tidal wave in New York City. It's swamping everything in its wake. And the reality is, last fall, when we did this report, we said, you know, government cutbacks are starting to sink in. The recession is starting to sink in. Things had truly gone from bad to worse. Well, I regret to report this year, with the economy in full bottoming out, and hopefully full bottoming out, hopefully it won't get worse, and with more cutbacks, things have really gone from worse to worser. The numbers speak for themselves. Citywide last year, there was a 20% increase in the number of people going to pantries and kitchens. This year, according to the New York City Coalition Against Hunger's annual survey, there was a 28% increase in people going to pantries and kitchens citywide. More horribly, last year, 59% of the agencies in New York City didn't have enough food to meet the growing demand. This year, 69%, more than 2/3 of the agencies in New York City don't have enough food to meet the growing demand. Here in Brooklyn, and we're announcing here today that the Brooklyn-specific numbers, 86% of the soup kitchens and food pantries in Brooklyn had an increase in people coming to their doors in the last year, and there are hundreds of soup kitchens and food pantries in Brooklyn. As you know, Brooklyn has had the highest poverty population, the raw number of people in poverty, also one of the greatest populations in New York City for years, so it's no shock that there's the largest number of soup kitchens and food pantries. 62% of the soup kitchens and food pantries in New York City did not have enough food and resources to meet the growing demand. Alex is going to talk in a little bit, and he can show you his pictures in the back of people dumpster diving here in New York City to get the help. And one of our main messages today is we want people to donate to charities like Ms. Diva and other places we've been. I've got to give a plug for the New York City Coalition Against Hunger. But do not believe that charity can take the lead in solving this problem. There are 36.2 million Americans suffering from food insecurity. 1.3 million New York City residents, including 400,000 children, live with homes without enough food. Trying to end the hunger crisis with more canned food drives is like trying to fill the Grand Canyon with a teaspoon. It won't work. We know when we have massive, immediate communal problems, we need a massive, immediate communal response. And people often say to me, Joel, why do you want government to do something about it? Why don't you want the community to do something about it? My answer is simple. In a democracy, a well-functioning government is the embodiment of community. So goodness forbid there was an earthquake and the George Washington Bridge fell down. We wouldn't come together, hold a press conference, and say, let's hold a bake sale for churches, synagogues, and mosques to rebuild the bridge. We'd say there's a vested national interest in getting people from New York, New Jersey. We got to get food and building supplies and other things into New York. We need interstate commerce. It's in the national interest to build a bridge. It's in the national interest for us to have leadership on hunger. One other point, just because I think it's so critical. Many of you know about neighborhood watch programs. I know Senator Adams has a career in law enforcement before joining the state Senate. We love volunteer neighborhood watch programs. But would any one of us say because those don't exist, we don't need a full-time professional paid police department? And I submit, because these agencies exist, does not mean we do not need a serious government commitment to living wage jobs so people can earn enough money to feed their family the way they want to by working. And for those who that's not enough, there is a safety net that is robust. Just a few hours ago in Queens, Senator Charles Schumer joined us to announce our Queens results. He was very influential in getting more money to fight hunger in the last federal farm bill. But he came today and said it's not enough. And he called for 3 things that we strongly support. One is ensuring that an immediate stimulus package passed by Congress includes more funding for soup kitchens, food pantries, and food banks. 2, that Congress extends tax breaks for food donors. And 3, perhaps most importantly, that a new stimulus bill, recovery bill, hopefully, that will be passed and signed into law on January 21st of next year will actually have significant more money for the food stamps program. It wouldn't be me if I didn't put a plug for my book. It just came out, All You Can Eat, How Hungry is America, and it actually has a detailed plan for how the next president can actually end hunger in America. We've been duped into thinking that this is a permanent part of the natural environment there's nothing to do about. The truth is, hunger in America was dramatically reduced in the 1970s. We almost ended hunger in America in the 1970s for 2 reasons. Wages were generally high enough for people to feed their family, and 2, there was a more robust safety net. In the Reagan era, we were sold on the false ideology that trickled down from the ultra-rich, combined with a few handful of uncoordinated, underfunded private efforts, could somehow solve this problem, and it hasn't worked. We have good news, though. We have the first president-elect in United States history who grew up in a family that received food stamps benefits. He gets it. It hasn't been widely reported by the media, but President-elect Obama has actually committed to a plan to ending childhood hunger in America by 2015. So it's all of our job to help them to get it. We'll continue to push our friends in the legislature to provide more money at the state level and not let the budget cuts fall on poor people. We'll continue to push our friends at the state level to work with us to get more access to the food stamps program and school meals at the local level. But it's only the federal government that can print money, particularly in these tough fiscal times, and that's why we're so proud that, and so hopeful that Senator Schumer has been pushing a comprehensive plan to deal with it, and that President-elect Obama has a plan to do it. So I want to thank Alex, who is the host here at this incredible kosher soup kitchen, and he is just a real champion in the community, and I'll turn the program over to him. We have more stars here than the Walk of Fame here in Hollywood. Thank you.